Okay, so here are your notes, section 2.6. And the topic is solving one-step equations that involve multiplication or division. So today it's multiplication or division. Now let's read the 3 bullet points. The first bullet point, we're still going to be finding the value of the variable to make the equation true. Second bullet point, we have to keep the equation balanced, and we have to show the same work on both sides of the equal sign. And the third bullet point, we're going to be using inverse operations again, but today it's either going to be multiplication or division. Yesterday it was add, subtract. Today it's multiply, divide. And we're trying to get 1 now, not 0, but 1. Alright, so yesterday when we added and subtracted, we were trying to get zeros. Today when we multiply or divide, we're trying to get 1s. Okay, so here is the first example. We're going to split right down through the equal sign. That's your balancing point. And if you notice here, you have a 5 next to an x. That means 5 times x. So 5 times something is going to give me 40. To figure out what that something is, I'm going to do the opposite of multiply. And the opposite of multiply is divide. And here's how I'm going to show it. I'm going to show divide as a fraction bar. And I'm going to divide both sides by that multiplied 5. So notice I'm doing it on both sides. Now what good does that do? Well, here on this side I can cancel the 5's. And now I have 1 multiplied by x. And 1 times x is just plain old x. And on the other side I have 40 divided by 5, which is 8. And that's the solution, which I should have known at the beginning, because 5 times 8 gives me 40. Alright, let's look at number 2. Split the problem right through the equal sign. That's the balancing point. And here I have a negative 7 times x. Negative 7 times something is going to give me 63. Since the original problem has multiply, I'm going to do the opposite of that. I'm going to divide. And I'm going to show divide with a fraction bar. And I'm going to divide by negative 7. And I do it on both sides. What good does that do me? On this side, I can cancel. Because negative 7 divided by negative 7 is 1. Now I have 1 multiplied by x, which is just plain old x. On the other side, I have 63 divided by negative 7, which is negative 9. Alright, let's try some different ones here. Looking at number 3, I'm going to split the problem right straight down through the equal sign. That's the balancing point. On this side I have an x being divided by 2. The opposite of division is multiplication. So instead of divide, I'm going to multiply. And I have to do it on both sides. And I'm going to multiply by the 2 on both sides. Now here on the left, I'm going to write 2 as a fraction, because here's a fraction. When I write 2 as a fraction, that would be 2 over 1. And now I can cancel the 2's, because one's on top and one's on the bottom. I'm left with x equals, and on the other side I don't need to write it as a fraction. It's just 11 times 2, which is 22. And that's the solution, and you can check it. If I take 22 and put it right here, 22 divided by 2 is 11. Alright, let's look at number 4. Dotted line through the equal sign. The original problem has division. The opposite of division is multiplication. So instead of taking x and dividing it by negative 3, I'm going to multiply by negative 3. And I do that on both sides. Now on this side, since it's a fraction, I'm going to write negative 3 as a fraction. Since that's a fraction, I'm going to make this a fraction. Negative 3 would be negative 3 over 1. On the other side, I don't need any fractions. So back over here, since I have a negative 3 on the top and a negative 3 on the bottom, I can cancel those. That makes a big 1. And then 1 multiplied by x is just x. And on the other side, negative 5 times negative 3 is 15. And that's the solution. And again, you can check it. Just take 15, put it right here for x. 15 divided by negative 3 is negative 5. All right, let's try a couple more. Number 5. Split the problem through the equal sign. That's the balancing point. Find the x. Here it is. Now it's being multiplied by a negative 2. The opposite of multiplication would be division. So I divide both sides by negative 2. Over here, I have a negative 2 on the top and on the bottom, so that cancels. That's a big 1. And then 1 multiplied by x is just plain old x. On this other side here, I have 16 divided by negative 2, which is negative 8. So negative 8 equals x. Let's flip that and make it x equals negative 8. And that's my solution. Let's check. If I take negative 8 and plug it in here, so negative 2 times x, negative 2 times negative 8, a negative times a negative is a positive 16. All right, number 6. Split the problem. Here I have x being divided by negative 7. The opposite of division is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply by negative 7. And I have to do that on both sides. Over here, I have a fraction. Since this is a fraction, I'm going to write negative 7 as a fraction. Now I have a negative 7 on the top and on the bottom that's being multiplied, so I can reduce, I can cancel, make that a big 1. On this side there are no fractions, so I'm good to go. Negative 7 times 3, negative 21. And on the other side all I have left is an x. And a better way to write that is x equals negative 21. Double check. Negative 21 goes for x. Negative 21 divided by negative 7, and negative divided by negative, positive 3. All right, last two, real quick. Split the problem. Original problem has division. Opposite of division, multiply by 5. Do it on both sides. Since this side has a fraction, I'm going to write 5 over 1. Cancel. I'm left on this side with an x. On the other side, a negative 10 times a 5 is negative 50. And last one. Oh, we should check this. Negative 50. Negative 50 divided by 5. Yep, it's negative 10. All right, last one. Split the problem. Notice the original problem is multiplication. The opposite of multiply, divide. Divide both sides by 4. Reason for that, you can cancel. And then a 1 multiplied by the x is x. On the other side, I have negative 24 divided by 4, negative 6. Double check. Negative 6 plugged in here for x. 4 times negative 6, negative 24. Alright, I hope this is helpful. You can always watch the video again. I went a little fast. Feel free to watch it again if you need to. Good luck.